And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our red Brodos player representing Starlight Twinkle. He just took down a Baby Marine, but it was a 2-1 series. Did go the distance. We'll see if he can go further. It is Krystianer. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nicoract. He is the last remaining Terran player in the upper bracket. There's no more Zergs in the tournament, but I have to emphasize the upper bracket because the Hot Mono and Baby Marine, they're still active, they're still alive in the lower bracket. And I believe they're actually facing off. The Terrans, they're killing each other. Smurge, Pappy Smurge. Only one of the two can advance on. I wish them both the best of luck. But now though, we have our probe moving out across the map. Krystianer just going to be trying to get some scouting information. Once again, double gas opener here from Nicoract. Now we have... Oh, interesting. I was about to say that we have been seeing a lot of economic and greedy builds from Nicoract in this matchup. We've seen a lot of 3cc 3 racks, but a double gas opener is not really conducive to that kind of build. So we're not seeing it here, at least in game 1. No 3cc this time, as this should lead into a factory instead. To our initial opener. Krystianer going for his gate expand into the Cybercore. Economic opener himself. And we'll see how aggressive Nicoract does want to be. Once again, Krystianer's goal here is to hide the probe. He's able to just hug the edge of the map, hiding here outside of the third. The initial Reaper from Nicoract should be trying to hunt it down. For now, it's rallied across the map instead, and we are going into a second Reaper. Okay. The Reaper moves out. The probe will survive. The first Reaper, what about the second? Nicoract getting his CC on location. After that factory. Reaper does reveal itself. And that should be the sign for Krystianer to go in. So far, the Adept able to keep up. We force back the Reaper. There's going to be a Twilight Council opener out of Krystianer, and I believe Nicoract has not scouted. Yeah, he has not gone far enough into the main. Nicoract is in the dark. Second Reaper moves out. It's going to be double Reaper into our add-ons. Just 2 Reapers and 1 Hellion. The probe is going to be moving in. And we could even be a bit of a nuisance here on the low ground. And we go for the scout instead. We dip into the main base. We get into the main as well. We see everything. Confirm the add-ons, we confirm the production. That it is not going to be a 2-on-1 or a 3-1-1 variation with the delayed starport. We go for the dive, we get the Adept at least. We're going to get a probe. Not bad. Nicoract getting 2 probes across the map. Diving into the main as well. We get surrounded. Oh, the surround is real, and we lock down the Reapers. And once again, we don't get behind the mineral line. But we would have already seen a Skytoss unit by now. Nicoract forced to play safe, did make that first Cyclone. But now getting into his 1-1-1. Early game tank production to help against the Blink Stalkers. 3 more gates are on the way. Krystianer going 4-gate Blink. Let's go. 4-gate Blink out of our Protoss, a very aggressive build. Again, thankfully Nicoract is getting ready for that as he moves out with his drop. We have Bio Cyclone drop across the map. Headed for the main. Once again, just trying to secure our eyes on what kind of production we're working with. Bearing in mind that Nicoract, he missed the gateway explosion. He doesn't know how many gateways there are. Doesn't know how aggressive Krystianer is about to be. And that's why the scout is so important. He does see all the gateways. There we go. We have confirmation. We get eyes on every single gateway. 4-gate Blink is revealed. And we're getting a lot of damage done. 5 probes go down. And the shield battery. Not quite the shield battery, but at least the workers. We got 5 probe kills. Back at home, bunkers. Yeah, we need those bunkers immediately. We have a bunker on the low ground. We have a tank on the high ground. Nicoract responding drastically here to this. He scans. He confirms the warp-ins. Confirms the gateway. And we even have another bunker here on the high ground as well. Again, Nicoract taking this very seriously, and is it going to finish in time? Will it finish in time? As Krystianer, he's headed for the main. There is a defensive Banshee. No cloak. Ooh, we're up to 3 tanks. It's a massive tank count. And we're bypassing the main army. We're blinking into the main. There is 1 tank in position. Krystianer not able to commit. Splits up his army. Going for another warp in. Stalkers are revealed. We head towards the low ground, but again, we have tanks in position. Observer confirms. And Nicoract holds. Nicoract, he has held. Solid response so far. And back at home, Krystianer expands. So it looks like Krystianer, he identifies that he cannot break this position. He cannot break Nicoract. Gonna go for a drop towards the mineral line. But he's expanding. We have the Bay on the way. That's going to be for Colossus. Stalkers, they can threaten the mineral line. Just barely out of range. We do get 1 SCV. Oh, boys are being pulled. One SCV goes down. We catch the Viking. Big overextension. Viking does fall. Despite sniping the Viking, I do like Nicoract's position overall. Again, Krystianer, he committed quite hard to this build, to 4-gate blink, and he didn't do enough. He killed a worker and he killed a Viking. The 3rd base is late. The tech is late. This is why Nicoract is up in supply right now, and soon is looking to break out. Just waiting for Stim. How many tanks are we on? 4. Jesus. 4 tanks. It's not going to be easy to stop this army once we move out. It's going to be easy. Drop comes in. Gets a handful of probes. A handful of workers in the main. Nicoract, he does break free. Doing this to establish his 3rd. Long distance mining. Scan reveals saturation at the 3rd base of Krystianer. Oh, the Sulker is going to go down. And here comes the push. Nicoract, he breaks free. Moving out across the map. Now, Krystianer does have eyes on this. He does slow it down. Picks off a couple of Marines. Nicoract pulls back. Krystianer getting his 4th. Shield batteries are on the way. He's getting ready for an eventual push here at the 3rd. Just in case. And Nicoract is not committing. I mean, the Zealot drop indicates that we were hoping we would. But Nicoract, no, he's chilling back at home. He's defending, working towards a 2nd starport into Viking production. And it looks like Nicoract, he's content just building up on 3 bases. Massing up an army. Ooh, big tank shots go off. And going for a later timing. Again, it's a very mature decision here from Nicoract. We'll see if it pays off. Ghost Academy is on the way. Going for an add-on swap, getting into those Vikings. Krystianer back at home, building up towards his own disruptor production. We're already at 3 Colossus, now we have a 2nd Robo. Disruptor production is going to be beginning for our Protoss. Is on the way. And we have ourselves a game. We're headed into the mid-game. Do love to see it. It was a pretty tense start to the game, but Nicoract did make it through. Ooh, snipes the Prism. Very nice catch. Prism goes down. 4 CC now on the way. Nicoract knows that he's even safer now. Drop is moving out, and we can force a cancel on this Nexus. We can and we will. Oh, ooh, that was a kill. That's 400 minerals down the drain. Aye, aye, aye. 500 even, as he also got the pylon. It's gonna cost us 2 medevacs, but getting a Nexus Pretty good pickoff, nonetheless. As a good chunk of the Marines and Marauders are going to be saved. Do we push? But now marauding around. Disruptor flank coming in. Novas do not connect. We have one Nova left. We graze the army. We get a Marauder. We get a Ghost. But not good enough. Krystianer falling back to his shield batteries. Nicoract doing the same. Falling back to his bases. Doesn't commit. Not yet. I mean, again, getting a kill on Nexus was a very nice start. From here, we can just retreat, back off, take a faster fourth. Both players are about to max out. We're keeping the Colossus back at home, only moving out with 3 disruptors. Interesting. Krystianer doesn't want to lose too much if he does get surrounded. Here we go, he commits across the map, pushes on the right-hand side. The disruptors are exposed! We get 1, we get 2, we get 3! All 3 disruptors go down. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, it could have been worse. We could have lost all of this as well, but that was a very nice catch from Nicoract once again. The disruptor count cut in half. Krystianer moving forward. Still has 3 disruptors. Let's push in. The EMPs. Vikings, they zone away the Colossus. As the Bling got forward, now we're pulling back to the safety of the tanks. One tank goes down. But we do get a Colossus. We got 2 actually. Only 1 survives. Up! Ooh. We get a handful of Marauders. Going in. Nice split there from Nicoract. Colossus goes down. The Vikings are kind of dead supply here. Ooh, a lot of Vikings going to be falling. The problem is that if the Viking count gets low enough, then we can go back into Colossus. Will it go that long though as you focus on every single disruptor once again? Not a single one connects! Oh my god! We catch all the disruptors. We force back the army. That was an insane trade there for Nicoract. An insane fight. Not a single Nova connected. Bjorn, is that you? But we did lose 18 SCVs. The mineral line is going to be crippled. But the main army stands strong, and Krystianer, he is in some trouble right now. He has 80 probes, but he needs time to rebuild. 2 disruptors at a time. We have a 3rd robo on the way. Krystianer needs time, and Nicoract should be the first to max. He's working on 3-3, working on more ghosts. Both players are licking their wounds. Can this army essentially reset? We mentioned before that if the Viking count gets low, that means we can go back into Colossus. But we do have 7 Vikings. They survived the initial fight. We have plenty of anti-air. This Colossus switch, not ideal. Here we go, Nicoract moving out once again. Does not get eyes on the base. Scans the army. Doesn't check! No! Doesn't check the center left base. He's gonna get up and running uncontested. Nicoract rotating to the right. Gets eyes on the Zealots. Clean them up. Krystianer rotating over as well. He has rebuilt his Robo army. He can still take a fight. Still run back from behind. Goes off. Doesn't connect. We're gonna get a tank. Good pick off. Tank goes down. We bust into the mineral line as well. We force Nicoract back. Force a retreat. Zealots are getting a lot of SCV kills. Here comes the main army. We have the high ground. We do outposition Nicoract. Nova goes off, zoning him away. The Zealots are cleaned up. Nicoract, he can focus on the fight. Plus one ship weapons on the way. No Liberator production yet. I'm a little bit surprised. No Liberators in sight. So we rotate around. Nova goes off. Ooh. Does not quite connect. Good splits here from Nicoract. Oh my god. Well, as we finally get a good connection. Big connections here from Krystianer. Finally what he was looking for. Is fighting back. Go for the stim. Nova goes off. Novas, they do force the split zells. They overwhelm the ground army, and sometimes one Nova is all it takes. We can shut down the Colossus. But what about the ground army? For the first time this game, Krystianer, he's able to take a decisive fight here. Thinning up so many of these Vikings. And now we're pushing. Krystianer, he's up 50 supply. Oh my god. Shows just how on a knife's edge a lot of these fights are. Here we go. We collapse on the main force. Zelt's going ham on the Marauders. Nova goes off. Big connection. What? Oh my god. Massive connections here. We're going for the Mineral Lion. 9 SCVs go down. The splits this time, they're not good enough. I mean, they were amazing up until this point. GG gets called, and Krystianer takes game number 1. Oh my god. GG. Krystianer takes the first game, but a shout out to Nicoract because he was holding his own for so long in this game. It was impressive. The amount of times that we saw Nicoract snipe disruptors and split beautifully against them. It wasn't until the tail end of this game where things very quickly escalated out of control. We went from one good Nova to another, and yeah, very quickly Krystianer was able to just take fight after fight and take the game. GG. GG, well played. And now we're getting into game number 2. Oh god! Ah! No! Here we go. We're getting into our next game, and oh my god, a massive shout out to Lambo in the chat. Papi God, thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you're having a great time in the Shopify HQ, in the Shopify team house with everyone else, with Scarlet, with Harson, with Björn. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all preparing well for DreamHack Dallas. And welcome everyone, welcome to the Logic Games. This is the second edition of the Logic Games, number 2. It is an open tournament, open to all. And we're here in the upper bracket, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alcyone, we have our red Protoss player representing Starlight Twinkle, leading the series 1-0. It is Krystianer. And in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player representing Platinum Heroes. It is Nicoract. Down in this series where he did so well for himself in that first game. It was a wild back and forth. We saw so many good splits and just avoiding those Novas, sniping disruptors as well, catching Krystianer off guard. Unfortunately, you could definitely make an argument that maybe Nicoract was a little bit too passive. After winning some engagements, he would pull back and just recover and rebuild back at home. Was not really one to capitalize on some of these wins, and in the end, Krystianer did stabilize, and all it takes is a couple of good Novas, and things can very quickly snowball out of control in favor of the Protoss. Meanwhile, we have a Durax. We do have a Durax. Hold on. Shout out to Lambo King. Thanks for the raid, Pappy. Here we go. We do see our probe moving out across the map. We don't quite get a full scout of the main. We're not fully aware of what's going on. Reapers are amassing. The probe is dipping in for confirmation. We did confirm that one of the gases was missing, so we're assuming there's a CC on the way, but we don't have the full picture. We're not fully aware of what's going on. And the Reapers, they're coming. The Reapers are coming. Back at home, Krystianer. Gate expand into the cyber core. First Adept is on the way. Twilight Council as well. Once again, going to be Blink as our tech of choice. Winding it back, if you remember, Game 1, or if you weren't here for it, Game 1 was 4-gate Blink from Krystianer. Didn't really do much of any damage. Nicoract did hold against it, did defend. Again, the early game was well in favor of the Terran. But Krystianer did recover. Krystianer did recover. We have our Reaper dipping in. Additional Reapers on the way. They're amassing at the Zelnaga. Oh my god, and we're following this up with a 3-Rax. Okay. You have my attention. It's going to be a 3-Rax follow-up. This is going to be a stim timing. Tech Lab is on the way to rush into stim. And it's going to be so important here for Krystianer to get a read on what's going on. To recognize the timing that is ahead of us. Reaper hits the natural. Gets a probe. Boys being pulled. No shield battery ready here on the low ground. Reaper, sorry, Adept goes down. Oh, and the workers, they are exposed. 2 probes fall. And we're not done. Not done yet. As more Reapers have arrived, Krystianer has to give up on the low ground. He just was not ready for this, not expecting this kind of aggression. And we are denying mining here at the natural. Pushing into the main. Going for the Stalkers. No shield battery in the main either. And we get 4 or 5 probe kills. We're gonna get 6. And we want the Stalker. We want it, and we're gonna get it. Oh, the Stalker goes down. We're down to 1. Sorry, down to 2. 2 Stalkers remaining. We get 8 probe kills as well. 9 probes, 1 Adept, 1 Stalker. And eventually, Krystianer will hold. But this has paid for itself as we get another Stalker and another. Oh my god. And now we're just going to be sacking those Reapers. Getting as many probes as we can while we can. Getting a full scout behind this. We do have 2 gateways on the high ground. Nothing on the low ground. The Reaper does get cleaned up. It's 2-gate Blink, but alas, our economy not looking too hot. Into 1-2 punch. We're building up those Marines and Marauders. We're getting ready for the stim timing. We are getting ready. Oh, my apologies. Sorry, we're getting up towards a 3-1-1. I assumed that we would just be working towards stim, but no, stim is going to be delayed. Just now starting up. Nicoract just building up his Marauders, his Marines. Going for the add-on swap here for those Medevacs. And Krystianer, he has a lot of catching up to do here. Getting a 3rd and focusing on probing. And it was 12 probe kills in total. It's insane. We don't quite have stim, so we can't dive on this army. Not yet. Krystianer is forced back. Let's test the waters, sees all these Marauders. Behind this, going into early Immortal production just to be safe. We have a mass amount of shield batteries on the way. We have 2 at the 3rd and 1 at the natural. Krystianer terrified of what he's seeing. And knows that it's not going to be easy to survive. Scan reveals all those shield batteries in the 3rd base location. Reveals the Immortal as well. And how does Nicoract approach this? Do we go for drop play? Do we commit with the push? Do we expand and take a 3rd? There's that expansion. 3rd base is on the way. I mean, Nicoract doesn't have to try to kill Krystianer. He doesn't have to commit. He's not going to. Got 2 more Raxes on the way. We're going to be expanding. Nicoract is moving out with his army to see what he can find. Maybe a stray Stalker. Could potentially collapse on the Robo. The army is spotted. Krystianer does respond. Nicoract going for the stim, diving in the army. Going for the Robo. And we do deny. We shut it down. Colossus will not spawn in. Will not complete. And we're not done, by the way. We have another stim in us. We clean up all the Zealots. We're going for the Immortal. Up! And we do catch it. Immortal goes down. We're out of range of the shield batteries. No overcharge either. Doesn't come into play. And Nicoract, he's content. He backs off. caught an Immortal, got the Robo. Behind this, we have 2 more Robos on the way to make up for that, to get into his Colossus production. But Krystianer's army, it's lacking. It's barely standing here. We have 2 Zealots and a handful of Stalkers, and here comes the push. Here comes the main army, finally, for Nicoract. And there's just nothing to stop him. No more Robo units. We dive on in. We have the Overcharge at least. But we can focus on the Robo for a second time. Focus on the Shield Battery as well. And Krystianer, he just cannot fight this. Not head on. Not anymore. As we're snowballing out of control. The boys are being pulled. Zealots get warped in. GG. Nicoract ties up the series 1-1. We're going to the ace match. GG. Again, a very sneaky move early on for Nicoract to hide the second racks to make it look like he was expanding. That is why Krystianer was so underprepared. There was no shield battery. We were lacking gateway units as well. Krystianer, he assumed that he could cut corners, that he could be focusing on his economy. He was not ready for the Mass Reaper. He was caught with his pants down, and with that, we're going to game 3. Let's go. Headed into that 3rd game. And it all ends here. It all ends on side Delta. This could go either way. Now, as a reminder, regardless of who wins and who loses, neither player is eliminated because this tournament is double elimination. There is a lower bracket, so there is a bit of a safety net here underneath these 2 players. So whether you're a fan of one or the other, no tears yet, as they will both continue their run in the tournament. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of side Delta, we have our red Polish Protoss player representing Starlight Twinkle being forced into the ace match. Can he bounce back? It is Krystianer. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes. Tying up the series 1-1, forcing game 3. Can he take it all? It is Nicoract. Let's go. Oh, let us go. Now this time I'm sure Krystianer is going to be a little bit more adept at scouting. He's going to make sure he doesn't get bamboozled or caught off guard again for a second time. We can see here Nicoract going for a single gas opener, so this is going to be a racks into a faster expansion, into a command center. This could be the beginning of 3cc, of 3cc into 3 racks. I mentioned before that it has been a very trendy build in the TvP matchup, and Nicoract has been very fond of 3cc openers, so I'm curious if we're finally going to see it this series, as we have been avoiding it for quite some time. There's that command center on the low ground. It is going to be delayed momentarily here, forcing out a second SCV. Krystianer being as annoying as possible, and ooh, it can only be delayed for so long, only for a second or 2. Command center has been thrown down, and my eyes are peeled for that 3rd command center. Again, if you've been watching Nicoract recently, you would know that he's been very fond of it himself, but we'll see. We shall see where things take us, where he leads us. Reaper moves out across the map. There's some scouting information at the safety bunker on the low ground. Minerals are amassing. Show us what you got. Going for our add-ons, going for the reactor. Still want gas. I'm feeling the 3rd CC. Nicoract, he's going for it. It's going to be 3cc. Get. Huh. There it is. It is going to be the 3cc build that we did mention. Again, Nicoract has been very fond of it, and I mean, this is a pretty good map to do it on. It's quite defendable, quite secure. Reed is seen more often here on side Delta. The Reaper will get eyes on the tech. It's going to be the Twilight Council opener from our red Protoss. So Nicoract is aware. Heads into the natural, gets a probe. Gets a probe and a scout before going down. And back at home, this should be 3cc into 3 racks. And there it is. There's the 3rd racks as well. Now, this is a really interesting build. Oh my god, this was... Oh wait, yeah, there we go. second and third racks. I just assumed this was the third one already. For a moment there, I was like, are we going with the 4 racks? He's crazy. So 3CC, 3 racks. This has been a very interesting build to see develop over these past couple of months. I haven't seen it punished too often, I'll be honest. At least on some of these larger maps. It's been difficult to punish here. We've seen some 4-gate Blinkstalker builds have some success. We've seen others have some failures. And we can see here that it's going to be 2-gate Blink into a third. So, economic opener at a Krystianer. Nicoract he won't be punished. He won't be punished for this build. Should be able to get away with it. And the way this works is this is going to be building up towards a stim timing. Going to be building up towards that 3-rack stim timing, but we're going to have a third base behind it, so a stronger economy to fall back on. Krystianer is still piecing it together. I mean, he's seen the massive amount of Marines, but it still could be a 2-1-1. It could be straight up 3 racks. Krystianer is still in the dark. The observers will help with that. Will help as the observer moves out. Second observer has arrived as well. Again, Krystianer just playing very safe. And he's moving out just for some map control, just have some kind of presence here to get eyes on any fast third, any move out, any drop play. And with the help of this observer, we should piece it all together. As Krystianer is working towards his forge and and the bay for the Colossus production. Scan reveals a third, so Nicoract knows that it was a 2-gate Blink into an expansion. He is aware of the economic build of the Protoss player as well. Krystianer dove in, saw the third TC, saw the additional Raxes, saw enough. So Krystianer is fully aware of the build. And Stim is about to finish. Here comes the first push, the first wave. Now, bearing in mind, the downside of this first attack here from Nicoract, or this first army, is that there are no medevacs, so every stim hurts. Every stim does hurt. We have to be careful with how and when we use them. The army pushes forward. Third base being taken. We do catch a Stalker already. Not a bad start. Krystianer slipping up in his control. As there we go. We stim with half the army. The other half, we do hold on. So we catch another Stalker. Oh. And Nicoract should be shuffling his army. There we go. He pulls back with the weakened army, moves forward with the others. Colossus revealed. We stim on in. And we do catch a Colossus. Massive catch there from Nicoract. He catches the rest of the army as well. We have the overcharge, but it's too little too late. The overcharge is going to be going down. The shield battery as well. Boys are being pulled. And Nicoract, has he done it? With our 3 racks timing here. The army crumbles before the bio. The third base is going to go down. This is a massive pickoff. This should not have happened. The Colossus was caught out of the open. As we have one more stim. And we're going to clean up the rest of these probes. Ay. Remember, this was not designed to kill. We have a third base. A third base fully operational. We're building up towards medevacs, towards our 5-rack setup. And Krystianer, yeah, there's just no way out of this. GG gets called. That's a game-ending amount of damage, and Nicoract will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the upper bracket finals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Nicoract. Again, this build has been, I mean, he's been quite fond of it. He's been quite fond of this build. It's been quite prevalent here. Throughout the scene, throughout StarCraft these past couple of months. And yeah, it was just a little bit unfortunate for Krystianer. I mean, he scouted, he knew what was coming his way, he was slowing it down, but the execution from Nicoract was a little bit too good, and Krystianer just caught out in the open with that Colossus. That was the nail in the coffin, really. For the Colossus to be caught in between the bases, out of range of the shield battery, out of range of the overcharge, exposed, just exposed even in front of the army. That was brutal. GG, well played. Congratulations to Nicoract. My condolences to Krystianer, as Nicoract will advance on, and Krystianer gets knocked down to the lower brackets. And it looks like we have some updates.